All right, guys, so here are our present progressive notes. You have guided notes to follow along with this presentation that you can fill out, or if you wanted to write this out on paper and take a picture and upload it, that'd be fine. But at the end of this, you are going to turn these notes in for points. All right, so we have talked about present progressive for like a really quick second when we had that activity with Mike and Sully and they were injured and you had to tell me how they got hurt. So it's like, my arm hurts because I hurt it playing basketball. And so we're going to talk about that playing, the ing part of that verb, and how to say that you are doing something right now. So, big picture, present progressive verbs are also called ing verbs. And we use them in different instances in English and Spanish. So I wanted to compare these two. So in English, we use it all the time. We use it for I am running to the store after school, like talking about doing something in the future. I'm learning Spanish this year. That's something that's happening, but like over the course of a year. Whereas in Spanish, we only use it if it's actually happening in this moment. So you wouldn't use it in Spanish. You wouldn't translate that sentence, I am learning Spanish this year, into this present progressive. You would just use it in the present tense. But if you are currently learning something, like we are learning a verb tense right now, like the last one that now got covered up because I scrolled over it, that would count as present progressive. Or I am talking right now, so I'm doing it right now. So things that present progressive allows you to talk about what is happening in the moment. Okay, so a couple more examples. I am speaking. And in Spanish, we'd say, yo estoy hablando. I am speaking. The girl is studying. Ella está estudiando. Okay, hopefully a couple of you are studying right now. My brother is watching TV. Mi hermano está viendo la tele. So all of these tell us that it's happening right now. So, how do you form this verb tense? There are two parts to forming the present progressive. Okay, the first part is you conjugate estar. If you noticed, we have estoy, está, está. Okay, so we are using estar to say I am doing this. Okay, so yo estoy, tú estás, él, ella, usted está, nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, or you can cross it out, and then ellos, ellas, ustedes is están. So this gets matched with who is doing the activity. Okay, so if I am doing it, I'm going to say yo estoy. If we are doing something, I'm going to use nosotros estamos, and so on and so forth. So whoever is doing the activity, that's the form of estar you use. Now let's talk about the present participle, that ing part. So there's two different things that we can do. If it is an AR verb, let's focus on that first. If it is an AR verb, we're going to take off the AR and add ando. For example, bailar would become bailando, dancing. We took off the AR and we added ando. So I want you to try these next four on your own. Okay, so estudiar, you would take off the AR and you would add ando, so it would become estudiando. And then pensar, you'd take off the AR and it would become pensando. Esperar, you take off the AR and add ando, esperando. And then viajar, you take off the AR and it becomes viajando. So from estudiar to dance, and now we have estudiando, which means studying. Pensando now means thinking. Esperar is to wait, so this is waiting. Viajar is to travel, so this means traveling. So for our ER or IR verbs, they get the same ending. So you take off the ER or IR, whichever is at the end, and you add the ending iendo. So this is the ing part. So comer, we take off the ER and we add iendo, and it becomes eating. Vivir, we take off the IR, add iendo, and it becomes living. Escribir, we take off the IR. So once you try these next four, take off the IR and add iendo, it becomes escribiendo, writing. Ver, we take off the ER, add iendo, it becomes viendo, watching or seeing. Hacer is you take off the ER, you add iendo, and it becomes haciendo, and that means doing or making. And then our last one, beber, you take off the ER, add your yendo, and it becomes bebiendo, drinking. Okay, so these are all things that are happening in the moment. So let's practice, and you can follow along on your notes. So fill in the blank with the appropriate form of the present participle listed. So as you notice, we have our first two parts already. We have a star, or we have our first part already of our two. We have the star for each one of these. Ellas están matches with ellas. And now we just take comer, take off the ER, and we add our ending. So it's going to become comiendo. One more thing I want you guys to notice about these. These do not change depending on who's doing the activity. So studying is studying, estudiando is estudiando, no matter if I'm studying or you are studying or they are studying or we are studying. Estudiando does not change. Pensando does not change. None of these, escribiendo, does not change. The thing that changes to tell us who is doing the activity is our form of estar. Okay, so back again on our practice. See how our form of estar always matches with our subject. Now we are just putting in the ing part of the verb. So we're going to take our comer, going to take off our er, and it's going to become comiendo. Okay, so yo estoy matches with yo. That's our first part. Our second part, we got to take this preparar, take off the AR, just this last AR, the other one stays, and we add ando. So it's going to be yo estoy preparando la cena. Mi mejor amiga está, so está matches with my best friend. Now we want to take off the ER of hacer and make it yendo. So está haciendo su tarea. She is doing her homework. El bebé está blank la leche. So we want to say we want to take off the ER of beber and yendo. So it is the baby is drinking the milk. Está bebiendo la leche. Y ahora estoy vivir. We want to take off our IR and make it living in Tucson. So estoy viviendo in Tucson. Now you have to do both parts on your own. So now is a good time to pause this and try this on your own before we go over it. But you're going to use your verb estar, and then you're going to put the present progressive form of the second verb listed. So pause now and try these 5 on your own. Okay, let's check your answers. So the first blank is always going to be our form of estar, and it needs to match with the subject. So the first one is yo estoy, and then comiendo, because we take the ER off of comer and we add yendo. Yo estoy comiendo la comida china. I am eating Chinese food. Número dos, el, our form of estar that goes with el is está, and then our form of estudiar is going to be estudiando para la clase de español. He is studying for Spanish class. Número tres is a question. Ustedes, and our form of estar is están. Dibujar is going to become dibujando en la clase de arte. Ustedes están dibujando en la clase de arte. Are you guys drawing in art class? That's an honest question. Are you guys still having to draw and stuff in art class? And then número cuatro, mi mamá y yo. Our form of estar is going to be estamos. And then our form of trabajar is going to be trabajando mucho. My mom and I are working a lot. And then another question, tú estás is our form of estás that goes with tú. Viajando is our progressive with viajar. And el auto, are you traveling in a car? All right, so now you guys have a form on Classroom that practices our present progressive. So use these notes and ask me any questions. We have a Google Meet coming up in a couple minutes that you can ask me any of these questions. All right.